Nothing reveals a narcissist's real nature more quickly than the presence of a baby. A baby strips away their mask because innocence cannot be manipulated and pure need cannot be ignored. Narcissists do not long for the responsibility of raising a child. They long for the novelty, the entertainment, the feeling of holding something that makes them look good for a moment. Like a puppy they can play with, show off, and then hand back when the effort becomes too much. But a baby is not part time love, is it? A baby requires endless patience, attention, and care. You would think innocence would melt them, but it does the opposite. A baby's cry unsettles them. A baby's smile makes them jealous. What should awaken love awakens contempt. Their awe sounds are exaggerated. Their expressions betray the act. They lift the baby onto their lap for show, but the performance collapses within minutes. The child becomes an inconvenience and the baby is passed back. Even their body language gives them away. Instead of tenderness, there is stiffness, clumsy movements, or a grip that is too tight. And when the baby cries, they do not soothe, they shame instead. They sneer at dirty diapers, roll their eyes at late night cries, and act as though sacrifice is beneath them. What should call out compassion instead reveals cruelty. Because sacrifice is the one thing a narcissist cannot make. I'm Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Welcome to my channel. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through 7 weird, unsettling ways a narcissist behaves around babies. Before we get started, something important for you to know. I have opened doors to my Thrive After Narcissistic Abuse membership only for 4 days. If you want in, click the link in the description of this episode and I will see you on the other side. Number 1, they mock cries. The sound of a baby crying can move most people to respond with care. It stirs a protective instinct. But for a narcissist, that sound ignites something extreme. To them, a baby's cry is unbearable. Why? Because it represents something they cannot stand. And what is that? Raw need, vulnerability. And need is the very thing they despise because it reminds them of their own buried helplessness. Instead of leaning into comfort, they twist in contempt, as I said. They roll their eyes, make irritated faces, or snap at the parents as if the baby is at fault for existing. Many go further, mocking the baby's cries, exaggerating the sounds in cruel mimicry, or even telling someone to shut that thing up. The baby's vulnerability, which should invite gentleness, only exposes the narcissist's own lack of empathy. What is really happening here is projection. The cry echoes their repressed memories of times they themselves were helpless, needy, or ignored. And since they cannot face that pain, they do not want to, they attack it when they hear it outside themselves. That's why the cry feels like poison to them. It mirrors the humanity they swore to erase from their own identity. Number 2, fake cooing. Watch closely when a narcissist leans toward a baby. The awe comes out too polished, too loud, and too staged. The smile is overstretched, the tone too sugary, and the timing too calculated. It's not a wave of affection flowing naturally, is it? It's performance. They do this why? Because society demands it. Everyone knows the appropriate response when you see a baby. So the narcissist mimics it to avoid being exposed as cold. But there is no warmth behind it. And this is crazy because babies feel energy more than words. You will often see the child stiffen, glance away, or even fuss in their arms because they sense the hollowness. I'm talking about my own experience. People tell me you would never settle in your father's arms and then he would physically harm you. He would beat you up. I know the reason why. Because I felt the energy that he hid from the rest of the people around him. What looks like tenderness to the crowd unsettles the baby. That disconnect is powerful proof. The infant does not understand language, but they know when love is absent. And the narcissist's fake cooing, meant to convince everyone else of their sweetness, becomes unsettling theater that betrays the emptiness inside. Number 3, they overhandle a lot. When a caring person holds a baby, you can see the instinct to cradle, to protect, and steady the little body. With a narcissist, that instinct is missing. They grip too tightly, move too abruptly, or bounce the baby around like a showpiece. It's not about the baby's comfort ever, it's about their ego always. Holding the child proves something, that they are trusted, that they are good with kids, that they deserve admiration. They insist on keeping the baby in their arms longer than necessary, not for the child's sake, but for the attention it brings them. To them, the baby is an accessory. They hold the child the way someone may hold an expensive bag, a proof of status. And babies feel it. They often wriggle, stiffen, or cry because even before they have words, they can tell when they are being cherished and when they're being possessed. That small unease is truth breaking through the performance. What looks like nurturing is actually dominance, and what looks like affection is really control. Number four, they make irritated faces. Narcissists rarely say out loud that they resent, hate babies, but their faces tell the story. Watch closely, and you'll notice the quick flashes, the tightened lips, the rolling eyes, the subtle grimace that vanishes the moment they realize they are being watched. These micro expressions leak contempt before they can cover it with a fake smile. The irritation always returns when the spotlight is gone. They will smile for the photo, hold the baby for a few moments of admiration, and then quickly hand the child back. When it is time for a diaper change, they disappear. When the baby wakes crying at night, they are nowhere to be found. They want the applause of parenting without making any sacrifices. And that's the real divide. They perform love when it's visible. But when love demands effort in the quiet hours, the 3 a.m. feedings, the patience through endless crying, where are they? They vanish. The irritated faces reveal they just want credit for sacrifice without making one. Who's making that sacrifice? You. Number five, they're jealous of attention. A baby has a unique power. The moment they enter a room, people light up. Conversations pause, heads turn, energy shifts toward the child. That simple, effortless magnetism is unbearable for a narcissist because they want all the attention. To them, it feels like theft. They believe they deserve to be the center, so when the baby steals the spotlight, they go crazy. The smile does not reach their eyes anymore, their tone shifts, or they start sulking, speaking louder to drag the gaze back to themselves. Like I said, they become quiet. Other times, they create dramas to reassert dominance. But what truly drives them mad is not just loss of attention, it's the purity of the baby's hold on people. A baby does not have to perform like them or scheme. They're loved simply for being. That effortless love is something the narcissist has never tasted. They have to claw, manipulate, and act just to earn temporary admiration. Seeing a child draw it naturally feels like salt on the deepest wounds. So, the jealousy is not just about attention, it's about the raw truth that innocence gets what their ego will never ever get. What is that? Unconditional love. Number six, performative play. These narcissists, they play with the baby when others are watching. Their voice gets too sweet, their laughter too loud, and moments theatrical. It looks like joy, but it's acting. The second the audience leaves, the performance ends. The baby is set aside or handed back. What seems like love is never about the child, it's about the image of being a playful, warm parent. The baby was a stage prop for their reputation. The disturbing part is that babies can sense the emptiness, like I said earlier. They fidget, avoid eye contact, or look restless because even without language, they know the difference between being bonded with and being used as an accessory. What should have been a sacred moment of connection becomes hollow theater. And once you see the pattern, you realize every smile, every exaggerated laugh was never for the child, but for the crowd watching. Number seven and the last one. They compete with the baby. This is one of the strangest dynamics, yet it happens. Instead of celebrating their own baby's growth, narcissists find ways to compete with them. They brag, she smiled at me more than you. or claim the baby only stops crying in my arms. When the child reaches for someone else, they sulk as if rejected. What should be joy becomes rivalry. They treat milestones as contests, as though love and attention are resources that must be won. Even a baby's giggle becomes a battlefield for their fragile ego. The tragedy is that love is supposed to expand around a child, but with a narcissist, it contracts. Even an infant who has no concept of competition becomes a rival in their eyes. Their hunger for control and admiration is so absolute that no one, not even a newborn, is spared. This is why being around a narcissist never feels safe for a child. Instead of receiving unconditional love, the baby becomes part of the narcissist's endless games of comparison and control. So, bringing it all together, when you look closely at how a narcissist behaves around a baby, you see something chilling. Innocence does not bring out their best, it exposes their worst. The cries, the smiles, the needs that should awaken compassion instead awaken contempt, jealousy, and fakery. And that is the ultimate truth about narcissists. That's why they're evil. Even the purest form of love cannot reach them because love requires sacrifice, patience, and humility. Qualities they simply do not have, should I say, they cannot have, do not want to have. What have been your experiences? What have you observed? Let me know in the comments and make sure to join my membership program. With that, let's bring this episode to an end. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.